We're now going to have a look at hoisting. Lots of different types of hoisting, and as ever, it would depend on the context as to which technique you're going to use. The first one we're going to have a look at here is an assisted hoist. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, it is just worth mentioning, why are you hoisting? Why are you working against gravity and bringing somebody up when you could be going down? You can come up with lots of context as to why. It might be that it's just one little tricky move and it's the last pitch of the route, you know, of a multi-pitch route, so it's easier just to get them over that bit and then walk off. It could be that the tides come in below and you need to get them over that section, whatever, but just make sure you've asked yourself that question. Should I be going up? Should I be going down? What we've got here is somebody who is compos mentis, so they're not injured to a point that they can't help themselves. Let's say Alan can't get up this wobbly section of Carneddau dry stone wall. Quite unusual, that's usually the sort of climbing that he excels in. So we're going to throw part of the rope down to him so that he can help me hoist himself over that section. First thing we're going to start with then is tying off the belay plate. Again, that full fist, mindful that it's somebody else's life. Going to go around the back bar. Pull that nice and tight. Trying to avoid any creeping. You might not want to go any lower. So that's the first slippery hitch done. Now we've got a half hitch and 2, everything's nice and tight at that point, but 3 just means I know the tail's long enough. So as I'm jiggling around, nothing's gonna undo itself by accident. Great, so now I'm hands-free. Al, have you got a spare carabiner and things down there?
Where are these big red carabiners?
Ace, alright, so I'm just checking what kit he's got. Then the other thing I need to make sure is that I've got enough rope here. So if I'm going to go into this system, I need to have enough rope to be able to throw down to him and then come back up to me so that I can pull on it. So you need to check that. Looks like I've got loads here, he's only just below me, so that's fine. Now what we want is, some people sometimes call it an autoblock. So basically it's a prusik that's going to go on here and act as a safeguard. I'm going to use my shorter of my 2 prusiks to do this job, and I'm going to want a French prusik because what I want is the prusik to release under load when I want it to. So I don't want one that's going to be a bit of a pain to do that, like a Clem Hoist or a classic. So I've got those 4 or 5 wraps in. Give it a check. Yeah, that feels good. And then I'm going to bring it right up to the belay plate. Find myself another screw gate if I've got one. Now, if I can, I'm going to try and go below the plate because I've got all of the hitches on the other side and that's tricky. So I'm just going to pop that in there like that, and then I'm going to push that away from me. Good, you can see it's wanting to start to engage. Next then, picking up the rope from the back of the belay plate, I'm going to throw this down to my partner. Rope coming down. What I'm trying to do is make sure there's no twists in the rope between me and Alan, because that's going to create friction, which we don't want. We want this as easy as we can make it. It can be clipped into his rope loop or his belay loop. It doesn't really make any difference. And now that he's in there, we're in a position where we can think about hoisting. People get a little bit stressed about this rope at this point. This is the one going down to him, about what to do with it. You know, you'll see people putting it in their teeth, putting it around their head, might trap it with the foot. Doesn't really matter as long as you can get your hand on it again. Next, we need to release the belay plate. And that's so that as we're hoisting Alan up, this system is going to create a safeguard. So that if I let go of the rope by accident, or he gets tired, needs a rest, something like that, the auto block is going to back the belay plate off. It's not just going to slide down the length of rope that's out. So let's have a look at that. Focusing on the job now. Got my hand on the brake rope here. Right, where does my attention need to be? Really on the rope at the minute, but then I'm going to be eyeballing this French prusik to make sure it's going to do the job that I want it to. Got to be a jolt coming through the rope, hun. Okay. Well done. Push that away and then just check that it's going to engage. There we go. Doing its job really well, so that's grand. So what Alan can do now is pull down on that rope, hun, the one in the middle. The one that I'm wiggling. That's it, fab. Okay, now then, if you watch what's going on here, you'll see that as I pull up on this rope, Alan is pulling down on the middle rope, and that's going to pull the live rope to him around the belay plate. As that happens, the French prusik will disengage, but it's always there as a backup if either of us suddenly let go of the rope. So let's give that a go, see if we can get him up that tricky section that he's having trouble with. Okay, hun, yeah, if you want to pull down on that, I'll pull up on this.
Okay.
Okay, have a breather there. So take both hands off and sit back. You see, I've got to be careful of that prusik, keep it away from my leg, but yeah, these two ropes are slack, it's doing its job, great. Okay, middle one, that's it, up you come. Watch the rope on the edge there, yeah, nice. There you go, that makes that move a bit easier, doesn't it? Watch the wobbly one. Ace.
Oh, nice. Made it.
Great. Well done. Fab. Yeah, it was quite hard that bit, wasn't it? Top effort. So now all you've got to do is manage him on the belay and decide who's buying the beer.